Hey everyone, Shakarez or Kayle here, and welcome to a commentary of one of my games. I haven't done a video in quite a while, and yeah, I've been owing you guys a video, but work and other stuff, I've been plagued with real life issues recently, so it's been hard, but I definitely want to get back into the swing of things. I'm still getting used to the new rhythm, you know. It's a bit hard, but I'll get there. I'm sure I'll get there. So yeah, this game I'm playing Kayle Jungle, and one thing I've been getting a lot on my Ask FM, and naturally, is when will I update my guides? Now I'm working with Liquid Legends, which is one of the sites, one of the Team Liquid sites. On right here, first gank. Thresh is going down. No way we can save him. I wanted to go for Graves, but I got exhausted, and then we just get the assist. I get the assist on the Morgana kill. Anyways, people have been asking a lot about my guides and when will I update them, and I've been working with Liquid Legends. I am going to work with them to finally do these guides. Now, Kayle is in a really weird spot right now in terms of how you should play her and all that stuff and where she fits. After the nerfs, her damage is kind of low, so in response to that, many builds have actually shown up. So whereas before you'd have like the first build, the AP build was the Lichbane build was the only one really, then the Lichbane got nerfed and then the Runon's build showed up, and now there's like a mix of many builds that you can run and they're all viable. If you check other Kayle mains, everyone has a different build, a weird different build. So it's complicated to say the least which one is the most correct one. And on Liquid Legends, I want to make a guide just for jungle, so with all the different jungle builds, and another build specifically for laning, because they are two very different things. And yeah, it's not something that you can put into one guide. So the early game, this game was kind of boring. You saw I had that first gank, and it was just farm. And honestly, I'm fine with just farming, because Jarvan is supposed to be the guy who's putting more pressure than me, because he's a Jarvan, and his ganks are really strong. And right here, we just gank the Nasus, but Tryndamere isn't even 6 yet, so we don't risk it. And we're not going to kill him anyways, he's really tanky. But yeah, basically when Jarvan's not ganking, it's very easy for me to just farm up because I'm going to outscale him. Now, for my Kayle builds, I usually have... I usually go into the game with more or less with the idea of what I'm going to build. I have two different AP kinds of builds that I run, and then I have a hybrid AD kind of build, on-hit, all that jazz. So when I went into this game, I saw the Tryndamere, I saw the Sivir, and I thought, well, I cannot run AD here because we already have too much AD, so I'm going to run AP. And when I run AP, I usually have like a set mastery page and rune page. It doesn't really change. And then from there, it really depends on how the game is going. And this allows me to decide whether I want to go for the scaling build with a Devourer, or if I want to go for the immediate power spike with Magus. Now, as you can see right here, I have a Skirmishes Saber and 2 daggers. And right here, 9 minutes in, is when I decide I want to go Devour. And I get Devour and Boots. Now, I don't necessarily need to go Devour. When I go for the Magus build, which is similar to the one I used to do in Season 4, the one with the Spectral Wraith, basically, when I go for that build, right now, since you cannot max Q in the jungle, you really need to max E and you really need attack speed, I go jungle item, so Saber or Trailblazer or the one that gives a Chilling Smite. I don't remember the name now. Anyways, one of those 3 items, and then I get 2 daggers, right? And then from those 2 daggers, I then decide if I want to go into Magus, or if those 2 daggers will build into Stinger. because when you want to go Magus Kayle, you need to go for a Stinger first for the attack speed. Then you'll complete your Magus because it's 20% CDR, and it's pretty cheap. It's Fiendish Codex plus like 500, 600 gold, and I think it's 580 actually. And after that, finish Stinger into Nashers, boots, or whatever you need. And yeah, that's what I usually do. Now right here we saw the whole enemy team going bot lane, their team. So what we did was I joined up with Tryndamere and we almost got the tier 2 turret. So we just fast pushed that down. Anyways, so yeah, even when I go for the Magus build, I go Stinger first. So the 2 daggers allow me to look at the game and think, so is this going slow? So I can farm up and go with Devour and not get punished for it? Or can I, if I need to be in multiple places, team fighting, roaming around, should I not get the Stinger and then go Magus instead for the AP build? So, going a bit more in depth onto my AP builds. This one is the Devourer AP On-Hit kind of build that I do. And basically, I go Devour, boots, and then from there, it really depends. So usually I'm going to get CDR boots. Oh, and this one was pretty nice. Tryndamere was going to die. I ult him last second. Nasus can't Q, and then I get the kill. Not gonna let Tryndamere get the kill. I think I deserved it more than he did. But anyways, here the build kind of depends on the enemy composition. After Devour and boots are usually going to be Ionian Boots of Lucidity, so CDR. And then it really depends. In this case, I'm going for Nashor's Tooth. And Nashor's Tooth, CDR boots, and I think I have 2 CDR points in my masteries. Give me 37.5, which is just enough to keep my E up at all times. Now, as you might remember, I have a guide posted on walking, which is the most recent one I have, which was a way of getting past the Nashers, so avoiding going for the Nashers and freeing up a slot and going for something else. Now, Nashers is built mainly because it gives Kayle a lot of stats. Now, you obviously won't be using the passive to full effect, the on-hit passive on Nashers, since it's like it scales on AP and you won't be building that much AP. So right here we have a jungle fight. I get the smite off and win the smite war. Then we kill Jarvan and we kill Graves, and I believe we still kill Morgana. And right here, I think I just use heal. Whenever you know you won't get into range of hitting someone for an assist, just make sure you use your W on someone, because that's enough for an assist. And remember that if you're playing Devour Kayle, any assist or kill will give you 2 stacks. So assists are very precious, so make sure to be racking those up for more stacks. So yeah, in this case I'm going Nashers. Nashers gives you everything you need, but you can avoid going Nashers if you go CDR boots with CDR per level quints and CDR per level glyphs, sorry, and that gives you 30% level 18. And then if you get like 5% from the offense tree, you'll get 35, which is a way of getting around it. But in this case, I really wanted the magic resist per level because they have the Anivia and they even have the Morgana. And Anivia does quite a lot of damage that people usually underestimate. So it's something I want to avoid this game. So yeah, let's say I go Nashers. After Nashers and CDR boots, I have my core. And after that, it really depends on what I need. I'll usually get another attack speed item, which will be either Runons or Wit's End. Runons if I am ahead and want to do more damage. Wit's End is also nice for your team. So for example, here I had Malzahar, but it's obviously better if you have more AP members on your team. That said, also if you have too much AP, Wit's End will be needed. But at the same time, you're running a full AP comp, which isn't very good because it's easy to itemize against. But usually Runons or Wit's End. Wit's End is also really good for protection against like double AP, which wasn't the case. And since I already had the MR per level, after Nashers, I'm going for Runons. So Devour, Nashers, CDR boots, Runons or Wit's End. And then the last 2 items really depend. I think this game I go for Zhonya's, and the last item, I really can't remember what I went for. I think I had a Blasting Blow and was either going for a Rabadon's or a Void Staff. But the last two items can be anything from Zhonya's to Abyssal to Death Cap to Void Staff. It can be any of those, really. So usually I go for one of those, go for more AP and some resistances, and basically just keep on the on-hit trend. And this is the build I usually do when I start with these items. So that's one of the builds. The other build I do, which I was talking about, was the Magus build. Basically, I get my jungle item, so skirmishers, whatever. I get the jungle item. After the jungle item, I get a Stinger, because you'll need the attack speed to clear. After Stinger, you finish your enchant, you get your Magus. And after Magus, you finish up Gnasher's Tooth. Now for this build, usually I don't pick up points in CDR, but if I do, I'll only usually pick up 2, so it's not like I'm going too much over the CDR cap. Right here I saw Morgana. Evil Sister, really wanted to kill her. Unfortunately, she cancelled one of my autos by flashing. I was like mid-animation. Oh, sorry, the chair is making noise. I was mid-animation when she flashed, so then I had to flash. Also, I would have killed her a bit earlier and wouldn't have need to go so deep. So, Magus build. After you get your Gnashers and your Magus, you'll be at 40% CDR, which is really nice. And this is the build I like to use when I need to put pressure early to mid game, because it gives you, the CDR gives you the option to go around from lane to lane and heal and ult everyone. And it's really good if you're having a lot of skirmishes early, because you cap on that CDR and you have a lot of AP for your heals. And obviously your ult is in such a short cooldown. So, right here I'm just clearing, not much to do. And I think, yeah, this is a really interesting part actually. So right here I see Nasus, he's low on mana. I think I can fight him. I activate my Elixir of Sorcery, which I'll talk about in a bit. And we go for the 1v1. Now I do kind of some mistakes here, like this ult is terrible. But I thought he had no more mana for a Q. But I do end up killing him. And then minions almost kill me. Malzahar did help out, but I believe I survived with like 9 HP there. So, Magus build, after Magus and Gnasher's Tooth, boots can be whatever you'd like. Usually I won't need the CDR boots because I have 2 CDR items already and I'm capped. So I usually either go for Sorcerers for the offensive option, you can go Zerks for better clearing, or you can go for defensive boot type options, which is what happens most of the time because it's a more defensive team-oriented build. So I usually go Mercs or Tabi. It really depends on what your team needs. So right here, Sorcerer Elixir doing the work, and Anivia decides to trap me, and Morgana as well, but I'm not stuck here with them. They're stuck with me. And I turn this around. I use Skirmisher Saber on Anivia, so her damage is reduced, and then we get the kill on Morgana. Pretty easy. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so after those 2 items for the last time, I then usually go for either Lichbane immediately because you already have enough AP, so you can go for Lichbane after that, or I'll go for usually it's a Zhonya's. I usually don't go Death Cap on Jungle Kayle because it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I have to be a bit more selfless and play for my team. So I usually like to have the Zhonya's, so I can use the Zhonya's. I can use Zhonya's on myself and save the ultimate for my team. Right there, Graves is in a really weird position. And you saw there I got the assist, so that's 2 extra sacks for my Devourer. So yeah, usually the Magus build is going to be something like Magus, Boots, Boots of Choice, not CDR, Gnasher's Tooth, Lichbane, Zhonya's, and then Void Staff, Abyssal. Sometimes I don't go Void Staff, you know, sometimes you can skip it. And in that case, when you're building the Magus build, if you get to a very late game stage, you can sell your Magus. So Devour is something I wouldn't sell. Oh, and right here, this is an interesting team fight. I almost killed Jarvan. I flash over the wall to avoid the Morgana ultimate, and then I'm trapped here. So I just decide to go on the Graves. I ult myself. I skirmish a Saber of the Graves in the end, just so he doesn't finish me off. And then I kill the Morgana, who can't really do anything alone. And Jarvan was fucking around here for some reason, and I killed him as well for the triple kill. So pretty nice. And then the other two members of their team start chasing me, but they're not going to catch me because I got my speed up. So, the other build, I just said, you don't really need Void Staff all the time, you can go Abyssal. And last item, if you're already at 6 items, you can sell Magus and get something like a Death Cap, an Abyssal, a Void Staff, what you still don't have. Because the Magus is only there really for the AP and the CDR. It's not like Devourer that will stack up. So it's not like Devourer that you absolutely need to keep because of your stacks and because you kept it till late game to get all those stacks and you're not going to lose them. You're not going to waste them by selling the item. But Magus you can sell, and usually on the Magus jungle item build, when I get to full build, I usually sell the boots I was using, whichever they were. I get CDR boots, and I then sell my Magus and get something like a Death Cap or whatever I was missing and I still need, because that item isn't going to scale more than what it has. Now, the other build was one I think I showcased on stream. I'm not sure if you guys have been watching. I'll leave a link to my stream in the description. But the other build I have been going for has been the a type of AD Devour type build. So right here we had a Baron. They had a Baron. I kill the Jarvan before he can stun me, but before he can knock me up. But then Anivia stuns me. I get rooted by Morgana, so I can't click the Thresh Lantern. And yeah, I die. I wanted to take at least like 3 targets there, but didn't work. And then Anivia kills Thresh. So that's their comeback, kind of. But even though they have Baron, they're kind of behind, so they can't do much. And a really nice play by Malzahar here, actually. He kites around and then manages to take down Anivia. Anyways, the other build I do is an AD type build with Devour as well. But the difference here is that I'm going for AD items. Now, usually my build is going to be something along the lines of Devour, CDR Boots, Stinger, which I won't upgrade yet. Then I'll get a Triforce, and then Blade of the Ruined King, Infinity Edge, or Mercurial Scimitar. And somewhere along the way I'll get a Zephyr. And this is just to keep the CDR levels up, because you need at least, at the very least, you need 30%. But I've only been doing the build this way because honestly I've been lacking I've been playing this build on my Smurf, and on my Smurf I do not have CDR pro level glyphs. Now, if you want to run this AD type build, and if you have CDR pro level glyphs, you can skip the Zephyr, get the CDR boots, that will give you 30%. If you have 4 points in offense, you'll have 35 at level 18. Which is pretty nice, and it's a pretty nice value. You know, and right here we have a team fight. I'm just gonna get caught, so I just ult myself and keep fighting. And yeah, then we fight Anivia here. I skirmish a Saber her, and then the dot takes care of her. And then everyone's flashing out, and we get our inhib. And I believe I overstay. But yeah, if you have the CDR pro level glyphs, you can skip the Zephyr, and you can go CDR boots, and CDR pro level glyphs, and the CDR offensive masteries. You'll get 35%, and then you'll free up that slot, and then you can go for something like Devour, CDR boots, Triforce, and then let's say Blade of the Ruined King, Infinity Edge, and then a defensive item or just another offensive item. And for that build, I really recommend that you pick up the red elixir, which I don't know the name. Is it Wrath? I think it's Wrath. Or Rage, or something like that. That's the elixir I like to pick up. It's really nice. And on this build and on the AP build, but on any of these builds, the first one I mentioned and the Magus build, the one I'm building right now in the Magus build, whenever you have 400 gold to spare, and well, you might be saving up, you know, but you shouldn't be saving up too much for items. And if you have like some gold to save, to spare, and you want to invest 400 gold, this is a really good purchase. It's 40 AP, it's 15 flat mana regen, so it gives you a lot of mana regen, which Kayle lacks, and it gives you 25 true damage to champions and turrets. Turrets, it's always, so every hit you do gives you 25 true damage on hit, which is a lot of damage, by the mid to the end of the game, and it's really good for split pushing as well. So right here, I just go in. I go in super ham, but I don't have enough vision to go for everyone. And I Zanya's pretty late. I couldn't click the Thresh Lantern, I don't know why. And I end up not killing anyone, unfortunately. But I left like 3 people low just by myself. With a decent front line in that team fight, I think I would have gotten at least a triple. But yeah, I do recommend you guys get the elixirs. The AD one on the AD build, and obviously the sorcerer on this build and on the Magus build. It's really strong. 25 true damage that procs with your Righteous Fury is super strong, and it's so beastly for split pushing. So if you're playing like top lane Kayle, it's really strong, but obviously on jungle Kayle, it's also going to be strong as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the 3 builds I usually do in the jungle. As for lane, you know the drill. Either the Lich Bane build or the attack speed like Runon's build are the 2 builds you can go for. But yeah, I'll be working on a guide for the jungle builds to explain them a bit more. If you want to ask about masteries, feel free to do so. They're usually more or less the same. Usually run 2 points defense for jungle clearing, 3 points utility for either move speed or mana regen, and then the other 25 are spread across the offense tree. And then depending on what build I'm going for, I'll change some points around. And depending on how much CDR I need, I'll get points in sorcery or not. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the 3 builds I usually go for in the jungle. Again, remember, if you're being pressured, if you need to have pressure and presence in the early to mid game, Magus is the way to go. If you see that you can outscale and you can farm up, which was this case, I just looked and Jarvan wasn't doing anything, and I know I will outscale with Devour, I just go Devour. And right now I think it's 64 stacks, so that's quite a lot of on-hit magic damage. And that plus the Nashor's Tooth, plus the Runons is just like, plus my E is just like way too much on-hit magic damage. So even though I only have like 200 AP, I'm still doing a lot of damage. So right here, Tryndamere with the swag. I flash in, I tried to get the Q off, but I barely didn't get it. And then I just go in full kamikaze mode. And this is the use of Zanya's. Like right here, I just forced them to go on me, and then I Zanya's the Morgana ult, so she can't do anything. We force them off of tower, we get the inhib, and now we're going to finish the game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be streaming today on the 11th of March, just for a bit, just before going. I have a dinner today, but I'll be streaming during the afternoon, so if you'd like to see, you might see some of these Kayle builds in action. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I promise I'll try to upload more in the future. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Shakarez signing out.